Good afternoon. Welcome to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Before we begin, I think it's probably best we welcome our newest member. I think it's a good idea. Brian Moore, you're supposed to tell us everything about yourself.
Wonderful, just on the spot, right?
Yep. I wasn't going to give you a heads up.
Hold for the duration. Talking?
No, just
once?
You're good.
Yeah, you see, got that green light. You're
Oh,
good.
we're good? All right, thanks. Thanks, Duncan. Yeah, happy to be here, happy to participate. My background is, I'm a resident of Quinte West proudly, and I work at the Air Base as a civilian, project manager on the construction program there.
You got a big project.
We have plenty of big projects coming up, yes, we
A
do.
little bit more on your background in recreation and sport.
Of course, yeah. Well, I have 3 teenage daughters. They've been through the programs of figure skating and soccer and all within the community here. Myself, I'm a member of the paddling club, and certainly we've been spent our fair share in the rinks and things like that in the areas.
So you have a good appreciation for what we offer in Quinte West: parks, facilities, programming.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, it's been exciting watching the pickleball courts show up and all of the things that are getting developed. Appreciate the time, effort, and money being spent in these programs.
Yes.
We don't have a quote on naming, saying pickleball in the meeting, no?
I
I think we've exceeded it, right, Mr.
No,
Boyce?
we've got to mention that every day. We got to
Okay.
remind people.
Okay, first of all, I need a mover and a seconder for the approval of the agenda. Any comments? All in favor? Carried. We also need a mover and a seconder for the approval of the minutes. Ms. Fuller and Councilor Reid, thank you. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Carried. Have no delegations or presentations, I don't believe, but do we have somebody for public input? Yep. You just come up to the mic and state your name.
Okay.
And away you go. You have 3 minutes.
3 minutes, okay. Yeah, I was kind of expecting today to kind of get a little more information on what was happening today. Obviously don't have the agenda on me or anything like that. I was waiting to hear from you guys and the rest of council as well on what we would be speaking about today. I know there's some highlights that are, excuse me, on there, such as a dome or a turf field, okay? So I guess I'm here today to learn a little bit more about that. Just so you know, my name's Leith Fiskin. I'm a resident of Quinte West. Also work for the city of Quinte West as well. I am a coach in this community. I do know that there is a surplus of overflow needed for young athletes and more areas for them to grow and develop and practice and play in terms of a turf field or a dome or any other configurations that may be possible. And one would obviously be a football field for us. I think it's important to note, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think it's important to note, and I don't know when this is going to be a good time to intervene with this, so I'll just put it out there now, and if you have more questions later, I'm more than happy to come back up here. But as of last night, I struck a deal with the Quinte Skyhawks. I'm sure that many of you know who the Quinte Skyhawks are, the Belleville region, to become the new president and owner of the CGFL football team for their program. So there will be a transition period where I'll take over the program, and the whole idea with that, and my ambition with that, is to bring that team here to Quinte West. For those of you who don't know what the CGFL is, essentially it is about junior A to OHL level of football, 17 and 22-year-old athletes. So here today I want to learn a little bit more what the future may hold for Quinte West, as well as the possibility of having at least a painted field here in Quinte West for us with goalposts, so we could call this our new home. So thank you, and we look forward to working with you guys in the short term and the long term as well. And again, if you have any more questions, I'm more than free to come up here and answer them.
I just had one question. When you said us, you meant CJH or
The CJFL team, yes, and there would be massive amounts of usage for the youth programs as well, U12, U16, U14, and flag football, because again, going back to the point that with Marion Sills and Belleville, it's completely booked right up. There is no other room for any other opportunity for any other football team or Frisbee team or soccer team of any need to get onto that field. It's the same thing with the dome times as well. We're running into an issue right now with the domes. I can't get my guys out there in the winter training months unless I go at 9 o'clock at night. So I think, me and Jacqueline have been speaking before, there would be a massive, massive overflow of not just football, but soccer, ultimate Frisbee, whichever way you see fit to use the new facilities if we could accomplish that in the future.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Hey, Don.
yeah, one second. Counselor Boyce, sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to ask Lee. Didn't you guys play out of at Loyalist College? I know I'd watched a couple of the games there with the Hawks. Is that no longer where you'll be operating out of?
So basically, right now, to tell you the honest truth, that contract runs out in 2 years. Okay. And I think as individuals in this room have a good grasp of what goes on in this surrounding region, and Loyalist is in trouble right now. Financially, they're in a big hole, and they haven't really kept up their end of the bargain in terms of their contract that they had signed with us. So those were the old owners, if you will. That contract will remain in place during the transition period. But I have started to outsource and look for other municipalities, but obviously this one being close to my heart to be the one to bring the football team to a new home and a new setup outside of the college ranks, because although we had the partnership, Loyalists never owned the team. So yes, we have played out of there in the past. There is a good setup for us, but that contract is running out, and the relationship right now is a little bit iffy, if you will. So.
Counselor Cotsworth.
One more question. Sorry. Yeah. When the report comes up shortly, I'm in favor of exploring it further, that we move ahead with the dome. My question to you is, ideally, if you could pick a location, what's your ideal criteria? Close to the 401, like that kind of things, if you could let us know.
Oh, that's a great question. I don't have a survey of what land we have available, of course. On a small scale, from what I know from working for the municipality for all these years, I see Centennial as being a great location if there's room. I'm not quite sure if there is. I think that would be good for tourism and the pop-ups and the community involvement that is around Centennial already, and all the businesses as well. And it'd be a new opportunity for new fans to come out and see something else and something new, especially in the summertime. I mean, it'd be great to be, the Hawks of summer, just like the Golden Hawks are supported in the winter. So,
Mayor Harrison?
Yeah, just before you leave, what kind of money you talking? Like,
so excuse me.
I know we can't do anything, but we can talk about it when we get the budget. That's.
Right.
But anyways, give us a figure you're looking.
Yeah, so I know there's bigger dreams and ambitions here today in terms of future turf field and dome field, but in the intermediate, we would just be looking at a field here to be painted football wise, right? The lines and such, and I think we do have the supplies here with the City of Canoe West to accomplish that. Now there has been talk about the goalposts, and we don't feel that goalposts are that much too extraordinarily expensive. We haven't looked into those. I think Keeley might have those numbers today. I'm not quite sure. But I think the club would be willing to donate and help the city out to perhaps get those goalposts in place.
Okay.
Can I ask?
Sure.
Are you working with the high schools, or is there no space there at all?
The high schools. With Trenton High, we have practiced there before. We weren't satisfied with the field conditions, especially with our young athletes. A lot of these guys are still expected to go pro or have a chance to go pro or pursue the university level as well. It's a very rough field. We were on it. We practiced once, and there was a massive risk for injury. Unfortunately, they don't have the finances that the city does to maintain the fields like Keeley does and the Parks Department does. So, I mean, that's kind of what we were targeting in that aspect.
St. Paul's or Murray Centennial?
We just as of last night talked about ENS. ENS? Is that ENS in Brighton just to get us some more field time, because that's another restriction we have too, even with Loyalist College. As I said, with Loyalist College's financial issues right now, they're trying to take the field away in terms of and rent it out to other sports programs for overflow. That's very difficult for us because we have a demanding schedule where we need the field time. So that's kind of why we're looking for an alternative as well. But no, we have not looked into the high school in a very, very deep level just because of field conditions alone, essentially.
So, sorry,
No,
Mr.
you're
Chair,
good.
through
You're
you.
good.
What age group again are you dealing with?
Well, the boys are 17 and or girls, of course, are 17 to 22-year-old.
And
players.
you're both male and female, that's what
That there is an opportunity for females as well to play, of course.
Well, I like that fact in particular because I think it's very important.
I
that
think before I just took over the head coaching job as of this year, but I think the year prior they did have a female on the team as well. So.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Wehrman, Whitney.
Just out of interest, this is the Quinte Skyhawks coming here. This isn't another offshoot, right?
No,
This
no.
is just so they will continue to operate through Peter Gabriel and you'll still be under that umbrella under Peter
Correct.
Gabriel and Aaron Liscombe and all that.
Correct.
The
Yes.
same people.
Yes, for the transition period, yes, we will.
Yeah, and so the equipment and everything else is still the kids' issue, and you guys provide that, but it'll be somewhere else. So you're just looking strictly for a field and then a place, I guess, to store. Like I'm trying to help you in the sense
Yeah, yeah.
of fields, et cetera.
No,
but
absolutely.
you'll need storage bins for blocking dummies and all the usual rigmarole, or
Yes, that's correct. We'll likely have a trailer as well to kind of help facilitate some of the storage. But we also thought that perhaps the amphitheater could be a better used facility for something as such, because I do understand that it is underused at this moment. And I think we could really possibly take that over and really make that, something of more of a usable space here in Quinte West.
Through you, Mr. Chair, has we given any direction to the gentleman as to who we might reach out to get support financially, or
You guys are probably topping the well.
So you kind of want to know what financials are in terms of what it is to run a CJFL program? Is that what you're kind of going after? Okay, so essentially it is probably about $120,000 budget, okay, for a CJFL team. We will be looking at likely around $50,000 for players' fees. That will come in. We plan to run 2 camps this spring as well. That should probably bring us around $6,000 or $8,000. We have about $10,000 at this current moment in sponsorships. We do not have the same sponsorships that the junior programs have, which is the younger Skyhawks. There's also other opportunities as well called Vertically Raised. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Vertically Raised or anything like that. Okay, well, it's basically a program in which you submit your information to them. They're the ones that go out and get the sponsorships for you. They take a 30% cut. So we have been working. We think right now we're sitting around between $85,000 and $90,000. We have some ways to go. We are by no means right now today coming to the city and asking for a handout. We are just looking to create a relationship with the city and potentially bring this CJFL team here to Quinte West and away from Belleville, where right now the junior program is, shouldn't say junior, the minor program is deeply rooted, which is fine.
I think you realize that you wouldn't be the only show in town. You've got soccer, you've got rugby, very big too. Flag football's catching on, right? And other things. So you'd be part of a big picture. The problem with the schools is you're trying to work around their whole schedule, and it just doesn't work unless it's weekends, probably, right? But I just think we should turn it over to Director Grimm, and she's going to be giving a report on this, so that probably will pose more questions.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay? Is everybody, first of all, before we get there, is there any correspondence? Any correspondence? None? Items for consideration, we have a staff report 25-009CS by Director Grimman of Community Services and Strategic Partnerships regarding the Sports Dome follow-up. And the resolution is that staff report by Director Grimman be received. Need a mover and second after that. Mover, Mr. Harrison, and Mike Kotzevos. Any questions? Okay, well, I'm going to just turn this over to you and fill in the blanks.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate Mr. Fiskin attending this afternoon. He and I and a couple of his colleagues from the Quinte Skyhawks have had some recent conversations and wanted him to have the opportunity to be here this evening or this afternoon to hear some of the discussion that was going to unfold with regards to this particular report. The club has brought some great information forward in terms of where they've been, where they are currently, and where they plan to go, and have really kind of dug deep in terms of some of the data and the details behind the club and how it operates. And they certainly didn't shy away from any of the information gathering that I did prior to the meeting, and came very prepared with a presentation, and might suggest that if the committee does seek to explore any conversations further, or direct staff to have any further conversations, we might invite them back at a future meeting to provide their full-scale presentation, because I think there's some really valuable information there. The report that you've got in front of you this evening is a follow-up to a request from the committee to explore some further information brought forward at the last meeting. Certainly, Ms. Fuller, that's on screen today, bridged a conversation between ourselves and a member from Field Recreation Inc. They are the company that operates currently the Loyalist Sports Dome. So I know the committee was interested in, the business of sports domes, the types of sports domes. Certainly there's air-supported or inflatable domes, and then also frame-supported structures. I happened to be in one this past weekend down in New York State for a basketball tournament, and saw all the many activities that could go on in a structure like that. There was everything from an artificial turf field that had flag football and competitive soccer to sport courts for basketball, volleyball, pickleball, tennis, and then some offshoot areas for weights and training and batting cages, walking tracks, like I mentioned in the report. So this provides a little bit of a snapshot in terms of the types of structures. Also, the idea that some structures you'll see in different communities can be seasonal in nature. So you'll see them go up for a number of months, and then they'll come down and kind of open up for the summer season. There's also just kind of the concept of artificial turf fields alone without that field house experience. Some kind of start at that level and then build to a larger, more enclosed structure. The Parks and Recreation Master Plan did address the idea of an artificial turf field or a sports dome as essentially an enhanced level of service, but there was lots of recommendations as well within the plan that kind of could potentially spill into this conversation, and we've noted those in the report with regards to pickleball, tennis, and artificial turf. The report also indicates that there are some domes regionally, although the supply is quite limited. And as we understand, the dome most closely located at Loyalist College is fairly subscribed in terms of its use. And I think there's some clubs that are experiencing, their time becoming more limited in that space, as the college certainly has the primary programming over that. Additionally, some financial considerations. We've got some very kind of high-level costs in terms of estimates, and then also reference to some recent projects that other municipalities have undertook. So the Hastings Field House and what the cost of that was, the Russell Sports Dome, and we've been kind of working in the background to collect other figures from other municipalities. We know the group that we met with at Field Recreation Inc. is in the process of developing more of these facilities in communities like Mississauga and at Downsview Park. And certainly, they are not the only player in the game. There's others in this business as well. Some are in the business only to construct. Some are in the business to construct and operate. So there's a variety of different operational and business models. The other thing that we're really seeing, and I had this experience with the city of Kingston, is we're seeing in this space of domes and artificial turf fields, partnerships really come together. So gone are the days where the financial commitment is resting with the municipality alone. That really is starting to evolve, and we're seeing partnerships where different levels of government are contributing partners. So the two twin domes in Kingston that were most recently constructed in the East End were a partnership with the municipality and Tennis Clubs of Canada. They predominantly funded and paid for the land for the construction of that. So lots of different business models, again, where the city is not the only one kind of bringing the budget to the table. So the information is provided for the committee's consideration. Should the committee wish to pursue further information in terms of feasibility study that would really seek to engage, groups like Mr. Fiskins and other groups that in the community like Quinte West Soccer Club and others, and certainly the public, as well as doing more of a business plan and costing strategy and locations to Councillor Kosovo's point. We certainly have built and could bring forward the appropriate budget for a feasibility study as part of the 2026 budget. So I will open it up to any questions the committee has.
Are any questions starting here, sir? Brian? Sir?
Well, it's interesting, I know we have some money in the budget to explore a new arena.
Through Mr. Chair to the Mayor. Yes, we have included as an outcome of the Parks and Recreation Master Plan and in one of the more immediate priorities, a feasibility study for the arenas, more specifically to deal with the aging infrastructure that we have and also to deal with the fact that over the course of the 15-year Recreation Master Plan, the plan does identify the need to add or supplement one additional ice pad or ice surface. So that is something that we will seek to explore in 2026 and likely into 2027 as well.
And just, Mr. Chair, just pass it on to the Mr. Keeley there and see what he's got to add to it, because he's out there getting hammered just like I do.
No, I'd support anything for the community. I think it's a good thing to have. I had the fortune of looking after the Hastings Fieldhouse for 18 months before I came to Quinte West. They're a unique facility. They're not a cheap facility. I think Mr. Fiskins asked partly short term is a place to play, whether it's a natural turf field, extending that, or what that costs in short term. Air structures are fantastic. I think it'd be great for City Quinte West. It's a lot of talk about cost of it. It's a 7-day operation, just like running the arena. My operating cost per year was pretty much a single pad arena, so there's a lot for that. I support anything for the community, for the youth, and anybody use. Multi-groups can use it. We do have potential national turf locations, as Mr. Fiskins. I think short-term request, if I understood you rightly, is there a place we could currently adapt right now in the short term so they can get that transition period through it, and there possibly is. And I guess we're looking for direction on, possibly from council or my directors, on do we look at a cost on what air structure cost, whether it's air supported or structurally supported, or look at a cost of extending a soccer field to make it, and goalpost cost to get them started in Quinte West. I think that's the original thing I took from them.
Putting a motion on the floor to investigate this further. You can fill in all the blanks for that. Types of structures, costs involved.
I think Councillor Reid might have a question.
Councillor Reid?
And then I can add to it.
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed listening to Mr. Fiskin explain what his request is. He's not asking for the moon. Obviously, it would be lovely to have a big dome, but we need to win a big lottery ticket for that right now with everything else that's being requested. My question is there a place that we might be able to find in the parks area? We have Wooler that has, and I don't understand whether soccer can be played on the same field as football or if that's a no-no, but we have we have beautiful soccer fields down in Centennial Park. Can they be used for soccer and football? We also have the Wooler Ball Diamond, which has a lot of park area. This is probably not large enough, but at the Frankfurt Arena, there is a grassy area that might be able to turn into a football field at the to the east of the Ball Diamond. Again, I don't know, but I would like to see maybe if we could look around and see if there's an area. Mr. Fisk had mentioned using the amphitheater. Is there an area that's large enough on the top of that hill or in Centennial Park that could be used other than the soccer fields? That's my main issue. I'd like to look into that, and I think it's a great idea to expand on the sports activities for our youth. Start small with our goalposts and our painted field and our prepared field so it's safe for the kids. That's where I'd like to make a motion that we look into that.
I was going to just tweak it a bit, saying to look at existing or new locations. Just an inventory, I guess, right? An inventory?
Yes.
Any second, you'll second that then, Councillor Reid?
Yes, I'll second that, sure.
Second, any more comments?
Clarification, we're dealing with two things at once or separately? So I was prepared to make the motion of a feasibility study, as Director Grimmin said, for the whole sports dome. But that's one motion. In the meantime, I'd be happy to suggest that we look at an inventory for this gentleman's right now. Like off the top of my head, I'm thinking Bain Park, but staff would have to comment on that. Just Centennial, I think it's very unique that it's a whole soccer area, right? Like, so people coming into our town, where do we play soccer? It's all at Centennial Park. And then if Bain Park is devoted more to the football, the directions make it easier for people to navigate our city.
I have a question related to the fields under the domes. Are there natural turf or what?
Through
Artificial
Mr.
turf.
Through Mr. Chair, yes, typically artificial turf.
Not natural turf.
Correct.
No.
Okay, Mr. Whitney?
My interest is more, let's say we get something built. What tends to happen with things that the government get involved is they build a building, then you have to fill it. You know, our hospitals will certainly tell you that. Do we have the ability to attain the yearly cost of maintenance of a dome versus Marianne Sills? And I realize they're two totally different facilities. But I also know of communities that have started with an artificial field, and then as time has come, they will build a dome over it if they can save that money. So, and then the number of days lost, I realize, having played and coached at the field at Thomas A. Stewart, which is city-owned with the school board, they actually snow blow it and use it pretty well year-round. So I'd be interested in the number of days lost at Marianne Sills versus the dome and then the maintenance cost. I would assume the dome maintenance costs are much higher. And, you know, so if we're looking long-term, as, you know, as your report said, it might be a starting point to find a place that we could put an artificial field in, and then with the ability to expand it with a dome over the top.
Through Mr. Chair to the member, yes, certainly a feasibility study would kind of assess all of those different pieces. You know, there has to be obviously a business model or business plan behind all this. So we would look at the current complement of our field rentals and kind of where the capacity might be kind of getting to a maximum, where some of those locations, as you mentioned, might be, and then benefits to either kind of a staged project where there might be an artificial turf field as a starting point and then a field house, or an artificial turf field that gets left alone. But all those different pieces would be part of a feasibility study. And we do have some budget dollars that are already assigned as part of our plans and studies coming forward as part of the 2026 operating budget that could easily cover that. That would be certainly non-committal to the city in terms of any future major investments. It would just provide more information to bring back for council to consider any future projects.
Thank you. When exploring this feasibility study, I'd like to see more of a concentration on the west end of town, and the thought behind that is the one at Loyalist, I would guess the majority of the renters are Belleville and Quinte West residents using that. Should we decide to have one on the west end of town, we could possibly fill it with Brighton or the county as well. Like, so if Quinte West doesn't fill every time slot, we have those municipalities to help fill it 24/7. So I would like to see it on the west end of town.
Through Mr. Chair, certainly I've noted that in my notes here. Thank you.
Yeah, but I know what you're suggesting, Mike, but we don't own any land in the west end there that I know of. Do you, anybody know something I'm missing?
I think the city does have some land holdings around Tremor Lake that are zoned appropriately, but again,
You've got some land around Tremor Lake in the back end of it, and it's, there's also a water line goes through there now that we put through to, over to Hillier Road, so you got some other conflicts to
Right.
deal with. And the last time I was in that area, that land I guess we can do anything, yes, we can put money in preparation, yeah, okay.
You,
Oh,
Mr.
sorry,
Chair?
Councilor Boyce.
Thank you. And I certainly agree with those last couple of statements. And I think the more important issue is that when we look at the plan, we first find out the feasibility and the pricing, and as well, it's very important that we look at partnerships. I know that when the Dome at Loyalist that played at countless times was first put in Belleville, certainly there was a partnership between the former owners and Belleville. So I mean, it was very cost effective, and we got so many hours per how much money we had put in, and it was very it was a good private partnership relationship. But I think with the feasibility, I think the most important thing are those things, and then we can look at maybe a location afterwards. I don't object to a west end location, but I think the more important thing is to work at private partner relationship and look at speaking to the groups that are involved. And one group that we haven't mentioned that has become quite predominant is the cricket, the local cricket association. And I know that I've been at the Dome countless times, and the cricket group has been there too. So there are a number of groups that would utilize a Dome if we were to have it get into a partnership. So I'm going to, if Mike has put, Councillor Gustavus has put forward a motion, I'll certainly second his motion to look at a feasibility study involving the Dome and the artificial turf.
If I could add on to that as well. Thank you so much for that, Councillor Boyce, because that's kind of where I was going. Outside of a feasibility study, who could we tap into from a partnership point of view? And I do know in Toronto, as they're building up in Downsview and some of those areas we just talked about, they're working with school boards. And, I don't know what the financial contribution looks like, but I think as part of that study, we should be identifying groups that we could be potentially working with to bring that to fruition. Location to me is like neither here nor there. I like the idea of the West, but I personally think if you build it, they will come. We are starving for this type of a venue.
Yes.
Councillor Reid?
Thank you very much. I would love to see a dome, don't get me wrong, but I think for now, Mr. Fiskin wants something that's going to be able to use this year. And a dome is going to take a lot of studies, a lot of time to see who we're going to partner with, a lot of looking into the location of putting it, and the cost is astronomical. Money is tight everywhere. So as Councillor Armstrong and I made a motion to try to find a location where we could start fresh now, and then we can work on towards a better turf dome and stuff. Everything takes time, but if we can find a location, whether it be with a high school, whether it be one of the park areas that are now, I'd forgotten about Bain Park. It's a great suggestion there as well. It's large. That's what I want to see, because we don't want to lose this opportunity for football in Quinte West. And maybe it will be in the north part, maybe it'll be in the east, maybe it'll be the west part of Quinte West. It doesn't matter. As Rosalind said, you provide an area and those athletes will go to it. But I think that's the most important issue right now, is to find some place where they could hit the ground running perhaps this spring, because that sounds like the timeline that Mr. Fiskin has mentioned. So that's why I'm not too concerned about it. It's great to have a feasibility study about the domes, but that's going to be a long time coming. Let's do what we can to help them get busy now with goalposts and a field to play on. Thank you.
Okay, Director Gribbon?
Thank you, through Mr. Chair, to Councillor Reid's point. I think we are almost dealing with two things here, and I think there's a way to achieve both things. If we want to kind of take the feasibility aside and take that direction, we can certainly kind of work in the background to start that process, pending obviously budget approval. But then in the meantime, I think it sounds like there is direction, or our council, or the committee, is interested in providing direction for us to continue to work directly with the Quinte Skyhawks to look at location options and like light field modifications that would be required to work towards a 2026 kind of integration into a location here in Quinte West. And staff are happy to take that away and work directly with the club on that and bring back any updates to the committee.
Councillor Boyce, did you have a hand?
No, I was going to say the exact same thing as Councillor Grimmett. I think we can do both things. We can look at the immediate the need for them for next year, but we can also, because feasibility things aren't overnight. So, I mean, let's get that process rolling right now.
Mr. Moore?
Thank you, sir. Just a couple of points to add, and I like the idea that the immediate requirement is being explored first. The suggestion of Bain Park being an option, maybe just take some consideration into it being on the flight path for CFB Trenton. So if there are height restrictions there for sure. So if we're looking at domes, that's something to keep in mind. They will limit the height of that dome. That might be a non-starter. I'm just wondering of the dome in particular, and I think I heard a comment about an arena, including that in the conversation. Arena is major infrastructure. The dome could become cheaper if it's included in that conversation as one development. Just my 2 cents there. Thanks, sir.
Anybody else? I have a couple of things. Must have been about 8 to 10 years ago, we had all the groups in here talking about the needs for baseball and all these things. And turf field was part of the discussion. And I talked to the soccer guys about Bain Park. And this is new to me, but supposedly there's a wind that comes across the field that affects the flight of the ball. And he said that's why he wouldn't support Bain Park. And I just looked at him cross-eyed in the way, but that's just one of the things. I'd like to ask a question to Keely. If Bain Park were chosen as a field, as a natural turf field, is it considered safe for that type of rugby and soccer, or rugby and football, collision sports?
No, Bain Park is safe. Field extensions, we'd have to extend the field to the north and south to get the length for a football field and potentially sports. A little bit wider, I'd look at the light standards, but Bain Park is a good location. We got a few within the city of Quinte West that has beautiful natural seating around it, whether it's artificial turf or natural turf. We got the hills, so that's beautiful scenery. It is safe. It's same as our other location I'd have in mind. Mostly it's field extension, just the width, besides football goals, right, and stuff like that.
So those are all the factors you'd bring in when you're taking a look at locations. Bain Park, here's
Yeah.
that list. Wooler, here's that list. Frankfurt, here's that list.
Yeah.
That's what I'd be looking at.
Yeah,
Sure.
and Bain Park, we did field 6 to 10 a few years ago in Centennial. We pulverized, brought it in. Bain Park, next few years anyways, would be
Yeah.
a thing I'd recommend to
Right.
my manager and director on re-leveling that field, because we did a drone topographic map a couple of years ago when we did field 6 to 10. Adulations in that field with the ground shifting will need to be addressed eventually. But it's an area if we had to extend or build up and level it and put proper crown on for football and soccer, it's a field we'll have to look at in the next few years anyways on doing a project like that. And there's some other locations with the Quinte West that's good. But everything we have, Duncan, is safe.
No, I didn't mean it that way. It would need an upgrade anyways, correct?
Yes, with years down the road, yes.
Question to you, sir. Have you played on any modified fields in terms of length and width and all that? I would say probably yes.
Now modified as in,
Length and width and end zone distances and all that.
yes, because right now, as was mentioned before, when you get with turf fields and stuff like that, they sometimes are painted for soccer and both football, right? And then when we, go down to Hamilton and play Tim Hortons Field, like the hash marks are wider. So yeah, there is times that we do play on different configurations of field, if you will. There's also right now talk, I know.
New rules.
The new rules that may be coming out. We don't know how it's going to affect the OUA, the university level, or even the CJFL, or we know how it's going to affect the professional level and the CFL. They are making different arrangements for a 100-yard field, bringing the end zones and the goalposts to the front, for the back line, I apologize. So there is some things to consider there, but, I mean, those are all just down the line type of deals, but, yeah.
I think we have two motions on the floor.
Yes, Mayor Harrison.
Okay, we'll start with
Take one.
Feasibility.
start with Mayor Harrison's motion. Can we read that?
Okay, so one of the motions is that staff review existing or new locations that are available to accommodate a football field for the Quinte Skyhawks in 2026. Yes.
Start with that first. We're dealing with this one first. Any questions? Any further questions, I say? All in favor? Carried. Okay, we have a second.
The other one is the staff report from Jacqueline Grimman regarding Sportstone follow-up be received, and then whether we're going to add the feasibility study.
Yes, please. And I make that, and then Councilor Boyd second.
Okay, any questions, further questions?
I'm
All in favor? Carried. Okay. Okay.
It sure does become complicated though, doesn't it?
So it's all about money.
You think about a dome, and then you think about what's underneath the dome and how many options you have as to, yeah, becomes quite a. Anyways,
I think the major consideration is multi-purpose. The more served, the better the deal.
Yeah, right.
And you might have to pay a little bit more to make it broader, but that might be better in that sense. Anyways, is there any other new business? Starting here, sir? Thank you. Mayor Harrison?
Nope.
Mr. Boyd? Oh, sorry, Mayor Harrison?
Through you, Mr. Chair, is there any way we can investigate how, and you mentioned about other places getting funding. And I know we're not overly flushed with money, so if there's any way you can give us some indication as to what we need to do to reach out to the either federal or provincial or whatever options are available to us. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, through your mayor, through you, Mr. Chair, to the mayor. Yeah, certainly, we're always following and tracking different sources of funding. Certainly, conducting a feasibility study and kind of moving forward. Typically, levels of government require projects to be more like quote unquote shovel ready to position yourself for funding. But certainly, that's something we're tracking at all times. Both through government and other private sources, and to the committee's comments earlier, we'll certainly continue to follow any partnership opportunities as well that can help leverage funding sources.
And I thank all the people who take the time to work with young people. And isn't there, in this week's, or this month's Watershed, there was an article in there, I think, on Red Gravel. Anybody see it? Okay. Did you read it? No. Well, Red Gravel coached me a long time ago. I think it was about 1958. And Red wasn't a big guy, but he taught us all, if there's somebody coming at you and he's got his stick in his hand, don't drop yours.
Related to the sponsorship question and the funding, the fund we went for the break wall, was that a two-part thing for new facilities or refurbishing facilities?
Through Mr. Chair, the funding through the Ministry of Sport had two different streams. We applied through Stream 2, which was the repair and rehabilitation stream. They also do have a stream available for new construction projects. So that has been historically part of that funding. Typically, it opens depending on the flavor of the government. But that's one that we're certainly continuing to watch for any opportunities that become available.
What's the city's position on major corporations sort of being the sponsor for that facility and having it named?
Through Mr. Chair, we more recently or earlier this year adopted a new corporate advertising and sponsorship policy. So that does give us some more leeway to have those discussions with different partners that may want to get into naming or sponsorship deals with the city for facilities or different sports fields. So we do have that process mapped out now.
So we could pursue that in the event there was something
Correct.
to pursue.
That's correct.
Any other new business? Starting here, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, I'm good, thank you.
Nope, good.
Mr. Boyce? Mr. Boyce?
No.
Ms. Fuller?
Oh, thank you.
Ms. Reed? Just a reminder about the Santa Claus parades this week. Councilor Reed's running the Frankfurt one. Quinte West Chamber of Commerce is running the one in Trenton. Frankfurt's on Saturday at 2, and Quinte West Chamber is at 4:30, correct? Sunday.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Thank you for the kind words, but I'm not running the Frankfurt Santa Claus Parade. I'm just one of a group of people that are running the Frankfurt Santa Claus Parade.
I don't believe that.
No, we're a small group. I'm just one of many.
She's the parade. Okay. You're too humble.